Bugs tend to be people's least favorite creatures, and that's just for existing.
I pulled up the mattress and there were hundreds of bed bugs.
You can only imagine what it's like to be around bugs that can actually cause you harm. From pain from a bite so intense you feel it in your bones, to an insect so harmful it can make you homeless, here are 15 of the most dangerous bugs around the world. Number 15. Giant Asian Hornet. If you thought it was painful to be stung by a regular bee, then you definitely don't want to enter into combat with the Giant Asian Hornet. Also known as the giant sparrow bee, the giant Asian hornet is the largest hornet species and probably one of the angriest. But seriously, we recommend anger management classes for this guy. They grow up to around 2 inches long with a 3-inch wingspan and have a 1/4 of an inch stinger to inject venom into their victims. You might be hoping they only choose insects to poison, but humans are on the menu as well. Every year, around 40 people die in Japan from giant Asian hornet attacks. Fortunately, they get revenge, for the insect forms part of many Japanese people's diets. But before they end up on your dinner plate, the hornet causes chaos. They can destroy 40 honeybees in a single minute and a colony of tens of thousands in a mere few hours. Then they'll take off at around 25 miles per hour in search of their next victim. This insect is definitely on Santa's naughty list. Before we go on, we have a cool challenge for y'all. It'll take about 5 seconds to complete. Let's make a deal. Just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 10 years of amazing luck and fortune. Try it, it actually works. Number 14. The Black Spitting Thick-Tail Scorpion. We're taught from a very young age that spitting is rude and disgusting. Clearly, the black spitting thick-tailed scorpion from southern Africa didn't get the memo. Talk about a disgrace to his family.
Should get a sting. Oh, whoa! And a good fight with it.
This giant black scorpion grows up to around 5 inches long with a thick tail and small, thin pincers. Don't let the size of the pincers fool you though, for the smaller they are, the more poisonous they often are. And instead of biting you nicely and with a clean wound, it will spray its venom around the area, even as far as a few feet away. This species of scorpion is one of the most poisonous in southern Africa, and is even one of the biggest. So not only will you get a fright from one when you come across it because of how large it is, but also because of how it wants to cause you immense pain. Oh goody. They are widespread throughout the scrubland and dry areas of southern Africa, and tend to be more active after rainstorms and at night. During hot days, they are more likely to remain hidden under dead branches, which means you're more at risk while collecting wood. After learning about this scorpion, you surely won't be in too much of a hurry to set off to southern Africa. Number 13. Black Widow. The 8-legged black widow arachnid is ready and waiting to come along and ruin your day. If you happen to see a spider anywhere in North America that has a black body and red markings on its abdomen, it is one of the most dangerous and poisonous spiders in North America.
You know what people say about her. She's the Black Widow.
Okay, so the name Black Widow is a little bit dramatic because death from this spider biting you is quite rare. But that doesn't mean you won't experience some awful side effects. Its venom is 15 times stronger than that of a rattlesnake, and a range of symptoms quickly follow an attack. You might experience muscle pain, shortness of breath, nausea, and numbness. Children and those with weakened immune systems can have a far worse reaction to a bite than someone who is otherwise fit and healthy. Female black widows build their webs low to the ground, which means you not only have to be aware of them in bushes and trees, but near your feet too. The best way to avoid being bitten by a black widow is to stay away from dark places, never leave your house, and don't stay up past nightfall. Totally achievable, right? Number 12. Yellow Jackets. Want to know what one of the most awful creatures in the world is? And no, we're not talking about your mother-in-law. The yellow jacket would happen to be not only one of the worst bugs to deal with, but one of the most dangerous as well. These little black and yellow bees ruin everything. They'll turn up to your picnic unannounced to devour sweet treats, then loiter around anyone's barbecue for a tasty meat snack. But that's not enough for them. They will then sting and bite. That's right, it's not one or the other. This horrible critter does both. Unlike many other bees and wasps, they don't lose their stinger once they've attacked. They'll actually bite someone just to offer leverage to jab their stinger into you as well. To anyone who's allergic to their stings, this insect can inflict a fatal injury. Unfortunately, they're found throughout the United States and seem to love hanging around in summer and fall. Give them a wide berth if you don't want to end up at risk of an unprovoked attack. Number 11. Pus caterpillars. When you see something fuzzy or fluffy, it's natural to want to touch it. How many people can resist walking past a fluffy cat without giving it a quick pat or a scratch under the chin? So it's a cruel joke that the pus caterpillar's playing.
It looks like a mustache.
It looks fuzzy, cute, and soft, but one touch of this insect can make you hurt right down to your bones. What an awful thing to do. The pus caterpillar is found throughout the eastern parts of the United States and loves hanging out in trees. It also loves to fall on people and cause significant pain, or make itself cute and cuddly so they go in for a pat. Then, once you touch it, you quickly regret your decision. In real life, there's no Control-Z to undo your action. Those fluffy bits that look so adorably soft are anything but. Instead, they are toxic spines that stick into your skin. From the time you touch the caterpillar and for up to 12 hours, you can expect unbearable pain from the touch site all the way up to your shoulder. We're not impressed with you, furry little friend. Number 10. Assassin bugs. If you live in the bottom 2/3 of the United States, then listen up. This one's for you. Meet the assassin bug, also known as the kissing bug, a 1/2 inch to 1 inch long black or brown bug with red dots and a broad, flat back. If they had a dating profile, it would read, "I love mammals, no preference on what kind, and I love kissing." Oh, and by kissing, I mean biting around your eyes and mouth, causing bite marks, redness, and swelling. Oh, and I have a disease. I spread a parasite that causes the Chagas disease. But it's no biggie. This disease only causes potentially fatal organ failure. If you find assassin bugs in your house, having entered uninvited of course, it is essential to get rid of them. Call pest control, seal cracks and crevices, and use bug-safe lighting. It also helps to install screens on your doors as an extra deterrent. If you happen to be out in the woods during late spring and summer, then be on the lookout, for they are in abundance during this time of the year while searching for a new house and mate. Number 9. Brazilian Wandering Spider. You know something's pretty good at what it does when it ends up in the Guinness Book of World Records. In the case of the Brazilian wandering spider, we won't be in a hurry to get too close and congratulate it for being the world's most venomous spider. This charming critter has enough potent venom to take down children and lives in most parts of Brazil. Fortunately, there is anti-venom available, which means that anyone who has been bitten and can access the anti-venom will likely be okay. What's more, the damage it can do is dependent on how much venom it inserts when biting. Within a few minutes, people can feel burning at the bite site, high or low blood pressure, a fast or slow heartbeat, nausea, blurred vision, and excessive sweating. Intense pain is near guaranteed as well. This spider grows up to around 2 inches long with a 6-inch leg span and a brown and hairy body with black spots. They wander around on forest floors in search of their prey and don't build webs. Instead, they prefer the more direct approach of ambush and attack. Basically, this spider is a real delight. Number 8. Tsetse fly. Most people probably presume that the mosquito is one of the most awful insects in the world. They're by no means pleasant or charming, but you clearly haven't met the tsetse fly to make a comparison. They make the mosquito look like Mother Teresa. Mosquitoes, when they bite, furrow their mouth into your blood, often without you noticing. The tsetse has a more direct approach. Their mouths have serrations on them, like a steak knife, and they will saw into your skin to suck out your blood. If that's not bad enough, they transmit diseases while causing you extreme pain at the same time. The most common one is called human African trypanosomiasis, or sleeping sickness, which can be fatal without treatment. Once bitten, twice shy. No, okay, once bitten and you contract the disease, you can start to feel a little feverish and headachy. Before long, you get sore muscles and tired. Very tired. Poor coordination, a change to your personality, and confusion can follow. By then, the disease may have already entered the brain. Fortunately, numbers for this condition are dropping, and the World Health Organization is optimistic that they can completely eradicate it. Number 7. Deer tick. The deer tick. Looks innocent enough, right? As it turns out, there's probably more risk associated with this tick than, say, a bird-eating tarantula. See, that's why appearances should never fool you. The tiny deer tick is a brown or rusty red colored critter that's mostly found throughout the eastern half of the US. They get their name from their preferred snack, the white-tailed deer, but they can then move on to other mammals, like us. Humans tend to be more of an accidental host, and we're certainly a plan B to a delicious deer. However, if a human does end up as a host to a deer tick, it can be quite severe. They can cause Lyme disease, a condition that causes a rash, flu-like symptoms, joint pain, and weakness. While most people recover without assistance, it can be a serious condition for anyone with weakened immune systems. It's also not uncommon for people to contract the Powassan virus, another tick-related condition that's found in North America and the far eastern parts of Russia. There is no antiviral drug or vaccine, and it can cause a potentially fatal brain infection called encephalitis. Number 6. Bullet ant. They say that nothing can compare to being shot with a gun. But then you get bit by a bullet ant and you say, you know what, I think I would prefer to be shot with a gun. The pain is so severe from the bite of a bullet ant that most people would rather be hit by a slow-moving car, be non-fatally shot with a gun, or go through childbirth 3 times over. Entomologist Justin Schmidt, who measures the pain from insect stings and has been stung by over 150 species, says it is the worst pain known to man. And that's coming from a crazy insect man who wants to be stung. If that doesn't convince you enough that the bite of a bullet ant hurts more than nearly anything else on Earth, then nothing will. They are one of the largest ant species in the world at over an inch long and live in the South American rainforest. And we're pretty happy to say they can stay there. So why does their bite hurt so much? Well, the venom messes with our nerve function and stops them from communicating properly. It also lengthens the signal sending time from a nerve, which causes that extreme gunshot-like pain. Number 5. Sandflies. Sandflies. They don't seem so bad. Sure, they're annoying and they cause itchy little bumps, but they're completely harmless, right? Wrong. Yeah, they're definitely annoying, as most people who have been trying to enjoy a trip to the beach or a picnic will let you know. But they can also carry diseases, which they then transmit to humans while on the hunt for fresh blood. Sandflies are tiny, at about 1/8 of an inch long, and they are active during dusk and dawn. They live in most tropical and subtropical climates, and they tend to prefer areas with moss, mud, moisture, and decaying plant life. The southern states of the US are where you'll find the largest populations of them. For the most part, anyone bitten by a sandfly will get a red bump and blister. Sometimes, though, inflammation and dermatitis can follow, not to mention severe skin sores for weeks or months after the bite. They can also cause parasitic diseases that require ongoing medical care. Fortunately, calamine lotion or hydrocortisone cream can reduce itching and help them heal. Anyone with an ulcer or persistent sore should see a doctor. Number 4. Giant silkworm moth caterpillar. To look at the giant silkworm moth, you'd never in 1,000 years guess that its offspring were murderers. That's like looking at a new mom and thinking, I bet that baby's a serial killer when its mom's not watching. But believe it or not, the silkworm caterpillar, the moth's baby, is responsible for several deaths every year. It has little spines all over its body that puncture the human skin. If that's not bad enough, then the release of the venom is. Poisoning can cause bleeding throughout the body, and the severity of the side effects can depend on how much venom has been released into the body. Thousands of poisoning cases are recorded every year, but not all end in death, fortunately. The worst part is, even people who know to avoid these insects are still at risk. Sometimes they can fall out of trees onto people who are merely passing by. So if you find yourself in South America, be it Argentina, Brazil, or somewhere else, be on the lookout for these spiny psychopaths. They're out to get ya. Number 3. Red Widow Spiders. If you thought the Black Widow spider was terrible, and it is, then you haven't met the Red Widow spider. For your sake, we hope you never do.
But as you can see, she's not really interested in...
Red Widow spiders have black abdomens and a red and orange head and thorax. Sometimes they have red spots with yellow outlines on their stomach, which make them stand out from the crowd. They most often exist around scrub habitats in the southeast and central Florida, and even more so around Martin County and Marion County. Now that we've told you where they are, you can now do your best to avoid them. They're venomous and can be harmful to humans. The female carries a neurotoxin which is not only uncomfortable, but can cause muscle spasming that carries on for years. That's right, it's not just temporary discomfort, but a potential ongoing injury that impacts your life forever. Aside from the spasming, the only other way to know that a red widow has bitten you is the localized redness and a clear lymph ooze from the bite site. While a bite from a red widow is unlikely to be fatal, it's not exactly a walk in the park either. Number 2. Arizona Bark Scorpions. If you're a bit squeamish, scared, or just downright terrified of insects and small critters, and somehow you've made it this far into the video, maybe you want to look away. The Arizona bark scorpion is one of those creatures that can't help but send shivers up your spine.
Jeez.
They love trees, so stay away from those, but did you know that they'll also hang from your ceiling and crawl across them? Nowhere is safe from the Arizona bark scorpion. They're small in size, light brown in color, and they are native to the Sonoran Desert. Therefore, if you live in Phoenix, Arizona, you're gonna want to know a few things about this critter so that you can avoid it. They hunt at night, so you can expect to see them out and about once the sun disappears. They're also typically non-aggressive, which is bound to make you breathe a sigh of relief. Most stings are accidental, but that doesn't make them hurt any less. The sting of an Arizona bark scorpion is excruciating, but they are rarely fatal. There have only been 2 fatalities in Arizona since record keeping began in the 1960s. Number 1. Termites. Termites. The dreaded termites. Want to know why they're dangerous? Because without prevention or treatment, you can end up homeless. They will literally eat your house without a care for where you'll end up. They are easily one of the most selfish insects around. Termites live in dry wood, which means they'll not discriminate when it comes to which part of your home they will eat. Foundations, door frames, windows, they'll munch on it all. They'll even eat your prized furniture if it's tasty enough, and the skirting boards around your property too. Fortunately, they don't operate quietly in the background. You will likely know if you have a termite problem. You'll hear banging in the walls, which is termites banging their heads and bodies against the wood. You may even notice flying termites, which indicates that the establishment of a new colony has occurred. If your home's wood seems papery or hollow, then there's a chance it's been eaten from the inside out. Termites are not an insect you want to play games with. Even though they may not be fatally poisonous to you, they certainly can be to your home. Bugs and spiders are creepy enough with how they look, but then you give them the power to hurt you and they're 10 times worse. Have you ever been bitten or stung by any of these before? What was it like? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.